I've got to stay hydrated in this one because we're going to do this slightly differently. I had a conversation or a quick chat with Mario before. He said rather than going to full keynote mode, he fancies doing a fireside, which I thought, well, yeah, okay, Mario, are you having a bit of a laugh at my expense? Yeah, I need the fire here near Nottingham. He's over in San Francisco. I don't think he does need the fire. So it's probably just an indication of Mario's humor. So Mario, how are you?
Fred, I couldn't be better at 7:05 a.m. this morning. I'm with you. That's why.
No, that's really kind of you to get up and join us. That's why I know you're in San Francisco. I miscalculated the times, so I'm sorry. I thought you were on the coast, and it would be like reasonable time you'd have had your breakfast.
That's okay. You forced me to get up a little bit earlier than normal, but I'm here, I'm ready, and I'm ready to have an amazing conversation, my friend.
As long as you don't tell me that I've stopped you going to the gym or something like that.
Well, you did actually, so I get a get out of jail free card from the gym today.
so we're all, yeah, I've made up for the earliness. We're on good terms. So yeah, Mario said, look, it's probably better if we have a chat around this stuff, because I think there's some things you want to demonstrate practically and kind of responding to what I'll be doing. But who knows? I think last time we spoke, we went way off on a tangent, but it was all so useful. But okay. Tell you what, Mario, let me get you to introduce yourself. I don't know how much you won't have seen much of today, but every single introduction I've done so far, I've managed to mess up. We've had an RAF serving officer. I got his title wrong. I demoted him. Yeah, I said somebody's name wrong. I've been having a disaster on the MC. I definitely need some MC skills. So could I get you to introduce yourself? Because all I would say is that you're the V-man. When it comes to video, when it comes to virtual, I go Vengresso. So you probably need to give a little bit more detail around that and what I do.
So thanks for that. So I'm Mario Martinez Jr. Hello, everyone. I'm excited to be with you guys. I am the CEO and founder of Vengresso. We are the world's largest digital sales training and technology company, having served over 1,050 companies. It was actually about almost 4.5 years ago that I decided to do a large company merger with 7 different companies. I don't recommend it. It's not for the faint of heart, and I certainly wouldn't do it all over again. I would take it a little bit smaller in bite sizes is what I would do. But nonetheless, have had a fabulous time in working with basically what we focus on is sales teams, sales individuals, and individual entrepreneurs and business owners, helping them to be able to create more sales conversations and increase their sales pipeline by using digital strategies. So we've worked with some of the largest of large companies, from Juniper Networks and Proofpoint, all the way down to even the world's largest vanilla extract company, which is Virginia Dare. So who would have known that scientists were actually virtually engaged through both LinkedIn as well as engaging through video? Who would have known that? We've educated over 140,000 professionals, which includes individual entrepreneurs, solopreneurs, business owners, small, individual sales reps. So just had a fabulous time in working in this particular space. And you know what's interesting, Fred, is when we talk about virtual, video, digital, I want to clear up some of these words and help everybody understand what we mean by these things in just a moment. But what's interesting is that most of us who have been selling, especially those of us that are at the director level, VP level and above, most of us are at the age of 45 and older. And with that in mind, we've never actually engaged in selling techniques that include this digital aspect. So we don't know what the definition of good or bad really is. And we've actually never really done this well and been able to build a resume of year after year performance that shows that we actually know what we're doing in this particular space. So we've had a very difficult time coaching the individual sales reps that are on our teams. In addition to that, if we are a solopreneur or business owner or an individual sales rep, sure, we may be a digital native. We may have grown up with an iPad in our hand, but do we understand how to engage and what makes people click on a video, as an example, click on your LinkedIn request, as an example? What are the exact things that you can say and do? How many seconds do you have to be able to capture someone's attention? And how and why you should be leveraging tools like video. And Fred, you didn't ask this question yet, but if I can start out with, I want to just take a moment here and talk about what are these terms: social, video, digital, virtual, remote. Well, most of them mean pretty much the same dang thing. So we think of it as a topical reference. You've got digital selling at the top. It could also be replaced with virtual selling. It could also be replaced with remote selling. I like to think of it as digital. And you've got digital selling at the top, and you've got individual lanes. Social selling as an example, video selling as an example, just to name a few. So if you think of digital, it's as simple as this: digital, virtual, video, social, you name it. All of these names that we've got for essentially doing remote engagement, remote buyer and seller engagement, it essentially is focused on helping us create more conversations or building existing relationships. That's simply what it is. And it's the mechanism or the techniques by which we use to engage and to keep a buyer engaged throughout the life cycle process, the sales cycle, and that particular process. So hopefully that answers your question on who I am, who Vengresso is, and we start out with what are all of these definitions?
Yeah, no, and as I say, for me, you're the guy that I go to. The amount of information and how you guys stay on top of all this, it's just staggering. Yeah, we get lots of newsletters. I look forward to yours, sir. I really do, because there's always something in there. I'm thinking, whoa, they're on it again. They're on it. But so we probably just need to step back a little bit. And so, if we talk about video in selling particularly, why video in selling? What's happened? What's going on that has made this such a hot topic?
Well, first off, before I answer the why, let me ask a question for all of you in the audience. Get your fingers ready. I want you to get ready to type. Look directly below. There's a chat button. And inside that chat button, I want you to just give me an answer. It's going to be a yes or a no. Simple as that. Here we go. Have you engaged with a buyer in the last 30 days with at least one asynchronous video, meaning you've sent them a video, you by yourself, asynchronous. This is synchronous right now, two-way conversation. I'm looking for asynchronous communication. And I'm just looking for some yeses and nos. I got 50-50 going on right now, 50-50 still. Yeses and nos in the last 30 days. I'm still looking for a lot more yeses and nos. Come on, people, right inside that chat. I know it's the end of the day. I'm last, but I'm up this morning. So I got all the energy in the world here, guys, to be able to make that happen. All right. So we got about a 50-50 touch. And let's think about this perspective of those of you who have and those of you who have not. First off, by a wild guess, by the end of this year alone, what is the prediction on the percent of consumer internet traffic that will be as a result of consumption of video? So the percent of consumer internet traffic that will be a result of consuming internet. Just put in a number, 10, 20, 72. I got from John. Thank you, John. We're looking at some numbers. Janice says 85. Looking for someone 65, 80%. You guys are really close. Yeah, 81%. 81% of the world's internet traffic will be as a result of consuming video. Okay, next item. Question. The second largest search engine in the world and the largest social media site in the world. What is it? Janice or Tina, you either heard me talk before because you're on fire. That's right. Everybody's saying YouTube. YouTube. This is it. YouTube. So whenever we want to know how to do something, we go to YouTube. Whenever we're looking for funny things, we go to YouTube. In addition to that, Google owns YouTube. So of course, search results are pushing up these particular search results. Now, if we think about that just from a consumer perspective, this is what you're doing. This is what our buyers are doing. 81% of the world's internet traffic is a result of consuming video. My gosh. Why then are we not using it in the selling process? Well, let's prove this out. Okay. So we think about, if you ask any marketer today, any marketer, top 5 marketing tactics since the last 5 years. The last 5 years, one of those top 5 marketing tactics is to include video as a way to be able to engage buyers. Marketing knows this. Marketing's been doing it for 5 years, yet we as a sales community have not adopted the same exact methodologies. The data shows it, the data proves it, marketing's responded, but sales has not. And furthermore, when we do create that video for a prospective buyer or someone who's already in the sales process, we feel odd about it. We've got feelings about this, and we're going to come back and address these particular elements as well in just a moment. And that is, I don't look good on camera. I have a bald head. I have a receding hairline. I have a pimple. I am too fat. I'm too ugly. Whatever the items are, there's a lot of people that feel like they can't do video. And more so because they don't know what makes a good video. They really don't understand that. So just from a statistics perspective, we know that consumer behavior is pulling and consuming videos all day long. Now, if we move that into the B2B segment, business to business, and this is, by the way, these are worldwide stats. This is not just Europe. It's not just Africa. It's not just United States. These are worldwide stats. Yeah. Another statistic in the B2B, 90% of customers say that a video helped them when they were making a buying decision. They looked for information. They wanted to be able to understand. They wanted to be able to see. 59% of senior executives say they'd rather watch a short video than read text. Now, what's short? Less than 60 seconds. Less than 60 seconds. So if you're taking notes here, I'm giving you all kinds of really great tidbits about production of video that you could be able to create. Now, there's some easy platforms that are out there that you could begin literally right now. Some of them free of charge, like Loom and Hippo Video, right? Loom. Wait, two O's. If I said 3 O's, I meant 2 O's. Loom, Loom. And then there's Hippo Video as well. And there's many others that are out there, from Dub to Videolicious to Vidyard to OneMob, you name it. There's all kinds of video platforms that are out there. And I'm sure some that I didn't even mention, okay? But if you want the free one, you want the easy ones, there's Loom, and then there's Hippo Video. Those are some good ones that you can play around with. That will actually help you in the advanced stage as well, would be more like the Hippo Video platforms that are out there. So thinking of this particular aspect, if 59% of senior executives say that they would rather watch a short video than read text, I want you to now think about this from this perspective. When you engage with a buyer, generally we send an email, a phone call, a text, or a LinkedIn message. In all of those circumstances, all 4 of those, how many senses are you appealing to with a buyer who's a recipient of any one of those messages in any of those individual mediums? I see John holding his finger up. He's got the answer. How many senses? Throw it into the chat. How many senses are you appealing to? Everybody's saying it. Good. It's coming in. Tina's saying there's 4. John's saying 1. The answer is it's 1. Visual. 1 visual, 1 sense that you're appealing to. Now, I want you to think about video. How many senses are you now appealing to when you produce a video? Throw it into the chat directly below. How many senses are you appealing to? John says 3. Looking for some more answers. Waiting for. Tina says 4. All right, the answer is 2. Audio and visual. Audio and visual. No sense of smell, no sense of touch right there. So what we're looking at is we've got the ability to be able to engage with a buyer with at least 2 senses. And of course, we all know the how we when we first fell in love with our significant other, and what that did was the touch. It was the look in the eyes, right? This is what we know as humans, that in order to build relationships, in order to build trust, we have to have that human interaction. Now, there are some people who've been able to find their significant other just through one medium, and that is through text, through a social platform. Some people have had wonderful, amazing marriages and relationships just by being even arranged. But for the most part, we appeal to touch, we appeal to sight, we appeal to hearing. So what we want to be thinking about in sales is, how do we bridge the gap in trying to forge or build a relationship using multiple senses? And I'm not saying video is the end all be all, but it is an arrow in your quiver. It is something that we must think about and how to essentially build that relationship. Now, one more thing I want to give you, Fred, and that is this particular statistic. And this is pretty darn impressive, this stat. Number one, most business owners, most entrepreneurs, they're using just 1 to 2 forms of mediums to be able to engage with their buyers: phone and email. Now, there was a study that was done by Zant, and that particular study showed, after looking at millions of different points of data, that when a sales rep used 1 to 2 forms of media to be able to engage with a buyer, let's just say it's phone and email, that they had about a 10% buyer engagement rate. But just add on 1 more or 2 more, 3 to 4, buyer engagement went up by 400%. Buyer engagement went up by 400% just by using phone, email, video, and text. Phone, video, email, social. Email, social, text. You mix it up. Any number of the 4. So by using different mediums, we can create the engagement that we're possibly looking for. And every buyer is different. I have a buyer today who refuses to respond through email or social, but absolutely will respond to a text message between 5 p.m. and 7 p.m. only. I have another buyer who absolutely doesn't want to do anything with anything related to digital and would rather just have a phone call. And yet I have another buyer who will only respond to social engagement, right? So every buyer is different, and our job has gotten much more complicated in looking at how to go about engaging with today's modern buyer. Now, when we think about these elements of video, it has essentially changed the way we've engaged with today's modern buyer. And today's modern buyer, in the old days, we would use cold calling, we'd use events, we use email blasts, we'd ask for a referral. In fact, some of us used to have that big giant Rolodex on our desk where we'd look at the A through Z button, we'd have those business cards inside there. I had one of those. But today's digital Rolodex is no longer on your desk. It is no longer the A through Z cards that you have in that big turning ball Rolodex. Nope. Today's digital Rolodex is stored on LinkedIn. That is your digital Rolodex. And when you think about the new way of which we're engaging, the omni-channel way of which we're engaging with buyers, it includes the old way: phone, email, events. It also includes text, digital video, digital referrals, social networks. The buyer engages you because of an inbound sales AI in technology that is being used to be able to bring people over to you, right? So these are the things we got to be thinking about in terms of today's modern buyer requires a modern seller, and it includes the use of video. Now, I'm sure some of your questions, Fred, surround, and everybody wants to know, inquiring minds would like to know, well, what makes a good video? Does anybody want to know that? Because if nobody wants to know that, we can move on. We can go on to another question, Fred.
Well, I need to know it, Mario. Having sent you a video, I thought that's the right way to engage you. I did look back to it and thought, and I was right, because you gave me some feedback on it as well.
I did give you some feedback, but I'm proud of you.
Of course I care about everyone else, but no, we need it. We need it.
I'm proud of you though, because you tried. Here's one of the first things.
Wasn't it?
What's that?
It was in Spanish, remember? I was concentrating on the language right, and I got all the rest wrong.
Yeah, you did well there. So I want everybody to think about this, right? So first off, let's talk about our fears. I mentioned this earlier. Some of us feel that our head is bald. I don't look good on camera. I have a receding hairline. My face is too big. My face is too long. I'm too fat. I'm too ugly. I have a zit. All of these concerns that we may have. It needs to have the perfect background. We have all these reasons why we don't want to be on video. Now, let me just ask you this, Fred. In the old days, and I'm going to say the old days because it's been almost 2 years, when we used to go to events, Fred, did we ever go into an event, walk on the trade show floor, walk onto the to start meeting people and networking a session? Did we ever go into an event with a bag over our head?
I've hidden behind a flip chart before, but that was for a very specific reason. But I know what you mean. I know what you mean. Yeah.
We never walked in with a bag over our head. So if we felt like 2 years ago that we had a receding hairline, our hair was balding, I'm too ugly, I'm too fat, I got a zit, whatever it might be, whatever those concerns were, they were existing then and they're existing now. So as an example, we would never walk into a networking event with a bag over our head unless we want the attention of the bag person and everybody's laughing at us. No, if we're those things, if we feel we're those things, then guess what? We're those things now. So it really doesn't matter how we feel. What matters is what the other person feels if we're looking at trying to get them to engage. And hopefully that eliminates your fears because you have those same exact concerns. By the way, I've got a very long face. I've got a massive head. If you look at my body, and I am receding hairline. Ever since I started Vengresso, it's gone back about 2.5 inches, right? So it happened. And by the way, I used to have black hair about 6 years ago. I used to have all black hair, and all of a sudden it's now, well, you can see it is pretty much gray. With that in mind, you know, we want to get over our own individual fears. So that's the first thing. The second thing I want us to thinking about is almost every video player has a beautiful play button on a video when we send that through LinkedIn, when we send that through email, a beautiful play button. And you know what I loathe when I see people send me videos is that amazing play button right here, sitting right here in front of my face, just like this, where all I can see is my eyes. Why? Because that play button is covering up the ever so important face, the ever so important face. That's right. What am I missing when trying to engage with that buyer? Right here, smile, teeth. This right here, studies have been shown that some of the videos that have gone viral on TEDx, as an example, same day, same topic, same publishing, same publisher, excuse me. There's been comparisons that have been done, and some of them have gone 50 million views, and some of them only have gotten 50,000 views. Why? What was the difference? One of those things was the smile. People are attracted to the smile. When someone saw someone smiling for in those first 7 seconds, that made a big difference, and the video shot up. When someone saw someone smiling as they're speaking throughout that talk, that made another big difference. Those video views shot up. We don't realize the power of teeth, the power of smile. And some of us may be embarrassed. I've got crooked teeth. I've got ugly teeth. Guess what? You got crooked or ugly teeth if you're in front of somebody anyways. So you might as well use it, right? We have to get over our own individual fears. And this is very important as we think about this in terms of taking ourselves to the next level. Most of us, or many of us, are at that 45 and older. And if we're younger, you may think you know this, but I can guarantee that you've probably produced a video. In fact, as I work with some of the video sales acceleration players that are out there, BombBomb being another one, I cannot tell you how many times a rep has engaged with me with this big giant play button sitting right over their eyes. You can't even see their smile. So basic fundamentals. When you're sitting there and you're creating a video, all you have to do, look what I'm doing. I'm just turning my body. I just turned my body a quarter of a turn, boom, right there. And that play button now is sitting right here in the center. And as soon as I begin to talk, I come back into frame, just like this. All I got to do is pivot my hips. That's all I'm doing, right? So that's one of the things I want you thinking about. Very simple. Do not have that play button. Allow your smile to be able to come through and engage that particular buyer. Remember what I said. We're appealing to 2 different senses. At the moment that someone sees a video thumbnail, that video thumbnail is appealing to sight. The moment that they click play, it is both audio and sight. So with sight, we've got to bring them into that particular video just like this, where you've got that wave going on, you've got that smile going on, you got this big play button right here sitting right inside there. So just pivot your hips. That's one of the first things I want to leave you guys. The second thing I want to leave you guys is, let me start it with a question. And that is, how many seconds do you think you have to capture and keep someone's attention? How many seconds do you have to capture and keep someone's attention for them to keep watching your entire video, or at least a longer portion of that video? Throw it into the chat directly below. Josh says 5. Looking for more answers. Get those fingers typing. Tina says 10. Thank you. Get those fingers typing, guys. Just looking for a number. Looking for a couple more. There we go. Fred says 7. Good answer. 7 to 15 seconds, depending on the individual study. 7 to 15 seconds. So what do you say and do to be able to capture that individual's attention right away? Well, first off, you've got all the ability with tools like BombBomb and Hippo, where you can actually visually bring somebody into your particular video. It's a great way. Whiteboards, boards, messages, personalization, whatever it might be, those types of things. So that's what we teach in our video sales mastery course. And for the in our video sales mastery course for both individuals as well as teams, we actually teach individuals how to go about creating great videos that would allow them to be able to engage with today's modern buyer. Now, I'm going to throw something into the chat right inside of there. And that's a link as an example of one of our training programs for individuals that has everything from LinkedIn all the way to video and many, many, many other items that are available to individuals to be able to learn how to sell in a virtual environment. So that link that just went out there, that links directly to our Modern Sales Mastery program. If you're an individual business owner or a sales rep, it's $397 a year. It's like the biggest, greatest steal of all time. On the team side, we have a very different program where we're doing a lot of virtual instructor-led training. We're with you for the course of 2 years, and we're really helping to improve the prospecting plans in that regard. With that in mind, 7 to 15 seconds to capture someone's attention. The third tip I want to leave you with in terms of creating a video, and then I'll show you an example of a video. How much time do I have, Fred?
Half an hour. You keep going.
Okay, I keep going. All right,
we're doing them as we go, so crack on. Well, we want as much as possible here.
all right. I thought I was running up on time. Okay, fabulous. So I'll give you another tip right here, and that is the question is does length matter? Does length of that video matter? Oh, Fred, you took it there. Come on. Yeah.
I can't believe you wrote a whole presentation around that joke to try and get me.
So see, now you got me all giggly over here. I wasn't even going there, and then you took it there. All right.
You know that this is where Benny Hill's from, the UK. Yeah, we love that sort of humor.
All right. Does the length of your video matter? And that's what I want to throw out to you guys in the chat. What do you think? How long do you have before you have or how many seconds before you have about 40% drop off? How many seconds before you have about 40% drop off? Meaning 40% of people after this number of seconds will drop off and stop watching a video. How long do you think you have? Tina says 30. DDL says 20. Josh says 20. All right, 30. All right, very good. Good answers. So the answer to that question is you'll have up to 20% drop off between 30 and 60 seconds. Somewhere between 60 and 2 minutes, 120, you actually can have up to 40% drop off. So what's your magic number? The magic number is keep it under 60 seconds for a prospecting message. If you're replying to someone, if you're answering a question, if you're doing a quick demo, if you're doing a proposal review, if you're engaging as a follow-up to post discussion, then absolutely you can go a little bit longer. But those prospecting messages, keep it below, pardon me, keep it below 60 seconds. That's uber important to do, okay? Now, there are a number of ways that people can engage. And I want to show you through my chat one way by which you can possibly engage. And generally, it's one of the forgotten secrets of being able to engage in a social environment. Okay, so let me share my screen here. And the setting is this. A VP of sales, who we sell to, VP of sales, VPs of marketing, and VPs of sales enablement, along with the individual and the business owner, okay? So a VP of sales reached out to connect with me. Now, I accepted that connection request. I don't know why they wanted to connect. I just got those random connection request messages, which I get pretty much 80% of the time. So we're not going to talk about, dear Lord, please make sure you personalize that connection request. We won't talk about that. But this allows me to trigger an actual event. Let's take a look. Inside of my chat right here, you can see this individual is now, I've accepted it and I've now responded with a message. Hey boss, thanks so much for connecting me on LinkedIn. I created this 60-second video for you. I'm curious what triggered your connection request. And inside of here, you've got movement, you've got smile, you got that play button that is off-centered. I even have a sign that is going on there, and I've got the wave happening as well. So I've got a lot of tricks that are engaging this particular buyer. Well, let me give you some stats. Here we go. Out of the last 4,000 video sends, 4,000 video sends on LinkedIn using that video, I have over 50% open rate. Over 50% of people have opened it. Now, let me give you this stat, and this is where it's staggering. Out of every open, approximately 2 clicks per open have been done. What do I mean by that? Well, let me take you back through and show you the construction of what this message looks like. When I click on this particular video right here, it leads me to this page. And on this page, you can see right here, I've got some click-throughs right inside of here. And of the 4,000, greater than 50% have opened this up. And of that 50%, nearly 2 clicks have been done on this page somewhere on any of these buttons right inside of here. Now, I don't know about you, but if you're in marketing, first off, nobody ever gets anywhere close to 50% open rates. That is unheard of. And to have 2 clicks for every one of those, an average 2 clicks per open, that has never happened. Never happened. All right. So now you might be wondering, what does this video say? What does this do? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you this video in full screen mode. And this is my message that I send to individuals who are brand new to my connection or brand new to my network. Mind you, I could also create a hyper personalized video to the individual. So I'm a little bit different than maybe the individual seller. The individual seller would create a video that might have on this board right here where it says, welcome to my LinkedIn network. It might say, welcome, Lorna, welcome, Fred, welcome, Philip, right? I would do that. Why? Because as a sales influencer, I get anywhere between 100 to 200 per day. And also I'm the CEO of Vingresso, of which we reach about 50 million sales and marketers on average per year, right? So I've gone what's called the generic route. I would recommend that you do a hyper personalized route. All right, let's just go ahead and play this video and then we will see what I say inside this video.
Hey, Mario here.
Oops.
Thanks so much for connecting.
All right, let's try that over again. One more time. Sorry, I clicked the wrong spot.
Hey, Mario here. Thanks so much for connecting with me on LinkedIn. Now, directly below this video are several items that other sales leaders have found valuable to help their sellers prospect better and sell more. The first item is one of our most robust pieces for sales leaders, all on prospecting. If your sellers aren't booking enough meetings, then you'll definitely want to read this. The second showcases the best sales prospecting tools necessary to host more conversations. The third item, well, if your sellers aren't using video, after reading this blog, I guarantee they will be. In the next few days, I'll reach back out to you. In the meantime, you can find my email and phone number in the upper right-hand corner of your screen. Oh, and if you love learning from videos, go ahead and click on that button that says subscribe to YouTube. If you have any questions, feel free to click the reply button directly below and I'll reach back out. Talk soon.
Okay, now when we look at this video, what was one thing that you saw that was happening throughout almost every individual frame? Fred, what did you see happening with every individual frame? Almost every, yes, exactly. Gestures. Oh, right. Here we go. Gestures. Now we're not talking about spirit fingers, right? Throughout the whole video, you didn't see this. It wasn't awkward. It was intentional gestures. The other thing that you saw was facial expressions, right? As humans, we connect with other humans when we see someone excited, passionate, modulation. We hear all these things and we're like, yeah, right? And we get into this, right? And so that's what we want to be thinking about when we're connecting or sending a video, is allow this life to come out. Now, some of you might be saying, that's not me. I don't have life. I'm just a boring person. This is the way I talk. I'm not going to change at all. This is who I am. Everybody likes me or doesn't like me, or, people get to know me. They get to know that there's a different side of my brain that thinks this way. Okay, no problem. But just for 60 seconds, breathe a little life into it. Just breathe a little life. That's all you're looking to do. Breathe a little life. So you don't have to be monotone and sound like this and say, hello, Fred, thanks for connecting with me on LinkedIn. Directly below this video are going to be 3 items that will be of benefit to you. The first one you're going to love because, right? Like nobody wants to see that. So bring some life into it. And we as salespeople need to be adaptable. And that's really super important. And when we think about these types of things. Now, there are many other things that can be done. For example, you saw a virtual background. I want to point out one more thing here. When you look at this page, you see this background. It's intentional. This background is extremely intentional. Wow, is he really on the water? That's what people say. That's what gets people to click through, right? I also, if you look at anything that that I have, you'll see that sometimes I'll do videos right here on the boat, right? So I will absolutely do that. I love the water. Or I'll go to the other side of the boat, and this is what it looks like right there. Okay, now this is intriguing. This is interesting. By the way, guess whose boat this is? Not mine. That's what I love about this, right? That's what I love about this. But also, you can create all kinds of really great backgrounds. Just go to Fiverr. If you're a soloist, if you're an individual sales rep, just go to fiverr.com, spend $5 or $10 and have someone create you some really amazing graphics. But then we've got all kinds of other different backgrounds. You've got the city life, if you want. You've got the snow, if you want to do those types of things. You've got the waters over here in Tahiti, if you want to look at that. And if it's dark, or if it's raining, you can switch up your backgrounds. Or if you don't like that and you want the city, the sunset, whatever it might be, you can choose whatever background you like as you see all the backgrounds happening on your guys' side right there. So we got to be thinking about how do we actually engage with our buyer. And you can actually see we got some people back there. The only thing I recommend is don't use people. Our graphic designer just uploaded this, and somebody in our organization approved this. And I saw this yesterday for the first time. And I said, whoa, who approved this? No. We never put humans inside of a video or a virtual background. Why don't we use humans? Take a wild guess. Why would we never do this? Throw it into the chat. Why would we never do this? By the way, this happened with our individual Vengresso designer. Someone says it diverts attention. Other reasons. Why would we never put humans inside this picture here? They're not moving. That's exactly correct. And now you become distracted with, okay, this is a virtual background. We do not want to distract in any way, shape, or form from the message that we're trying to deliver. So never put humans inside of your picture in that regard, and make sure that you're using visual backgrounds just like this. Now, one more thing that I'll give you is in terms of a tip, and then we'll leave the last 15 minutes for Q&A, okay? Story. One of our sellers, 2 stories, excuse me. One of our sellers had at a meeting that was booked with a manufacturer who produced soap. Now, the soap was for car wash locations. So it was a liquid soap of some sort, and it was for car washes. Well, there were 3 meetings that he had rescheduled, first, second, and now he was going on the 3rd. Hours before the 3rd meeting, the buyer canceled and asked to reschedule that meeting one more time. Okay? So my seller decided, you know what? I'm sick and tired of having this happen. So he said, I'm going to go to their YouTube and see if I can find something creative to be able to create a video to see if I can keep this meeting. So he did. Went to their YouTube site. Using any one of the free tools that are out there, simply scrape the video right off of YouTube. Free tools all day long. All kinds of great downloader tools that you can find. And he found a video of a car wash choo, 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 you know, all these big things moving on the car, right? The car going through, and there was no human inside the car. So what he did is he said, I'm going to take that video. He put that video as a virtual background. And then he did something like this. Pretend this is actually a, well, you know what? I'm not going to pretend. I'll show you guys. Well, actually, can I do the, I can't do virtual video background on Zoom yet, can I? No, I can't do virtual video background yet on Zoom. I can only do it through our platforms. But pretend the water is moving. Can we all pretend? Yes or yes? Can we pretend that the water is moving? Yes. Okay. I'm getting some thumbs up, some yeses there. All right. So what he did is the car is moving this direction, right? Away from the video screen. So he took that video and he was like, hey guys, I'm in the middle of a car wash right now. Yeah, using your product on my car. I'm on my way to your office right now. Hey, let's not reschedule that meeting there. But, oh, I'm sorry. Sorry for the noise. Sorry, right? He did this whole video play and he sent that video less than 30 seconds, sent it over to the buyer, and the buyer said, well, that was pretty good. Okay, I'm going to cancel the other meeting. I'm going to take your meeting just because you made that special effort. Now, no sale resulted as a result of that. But my point is that we got to be thinking creatively. Today's modern seller is a smarketer. Today's modern seller is a smarketer. We are a sales and marketer all combined into one. That's what we do. Second story I want to tell you as an example is one of our other sales folks was promoting an event that we were going to be at. This is when we actually did events. This was a couple of years ago, so that's a really good story. An event we were going to be at, and so we were inviting executives to come and join us who were individuals that had registered for the event to come and meet us. And it happened to be at a location where there was going to be skiing. And so he took a video, some random video off of YouTube, and it was of an individual who was, you know, going down the slopes here. Here we go, going down the slopes. And he dressed up, ski jacket, goggles, hat, recorded himself with a, what are those, the selfie stick, recorded himself with a selfie stick in front of the video, in front of the guy that was moving. And he was like, hey guys, you know, we're going to be on the slopes next week. I'd love to be able to host you and have a drink with you. And he does this whole session of inviting people, shot the registrations through the roof when we sent that out because people were like, oh, that's pretty good. Yes, I'd love to meet with you guys. That was very creative. Love to see how we can do that. So I tell you these stories because the power of video allows us to be creators. And some of us may think, I don't have a creative bone in my body. No problem. Just go to Fiverr and create a nice virtual background just like this. No problem. Simple as that. You don't have to be the creative. Ask Fiverr a graphic designer to create you some sort of water background on a boat background, something that you can throw onto a virtual background in a Hippo video as an example, and BombBomb and Loom, whatever it might be, or that you can record through Zoom. And it really is that simple. It really is that simple. Or if you're a much more complex type of individual and you want to be super creative, you can use all kinds of cool free download tools, scrape off a video off of YouTube, and use your customers' YouTube videos. That's one of the best tricks of the trade. Use your customers' videos inside of your video. So those are some basic tips and tricks about how to be able to engage with video. And let me tell you this. If you are not sending out a video by end of next week, you are ultimately failing yourself. If you do not send one out by next week, you are ultimately failing yourself. You are the dinosaur. You are the individual who will not succeed in the virtual environment. You are the individual that somebody else will be more creative, more talented, and figure this out and be able to build and attract your buyer's attention through multiple senses and utilize an omni-channel. If you remain in this other realm that we have been stuck in, that we were trained in, especially those that are 45 and older, myself and you, some of you on this call, if you remain in this segment, then all these other folks down over here that are up and coming, they will surpass you. You will lose business. Now, what you have here in this group that this group does not have is they don't have experience. They don't have the ability to have finesse. They don't have the voice. They don't have all this stuff that we have over here. On the other hand, if you're over here in this crowd and you think you're using video, and you think you're doing social correctly, let me assure you that until you've had the right training, not just because you're a digital native, until you've had the right training, you will not be successful either. But you can beat out your competition, because this group over here, most of us aren't doing it. So both groups have some tremendous upside, tremendous possibility. And when I say both groups, that's that digital native group where they grew up with the iPad in their hand. These two groups right here, everybody should be thinking about video. Everybody should be thinking about social. Everybody should be engaging with the phone. Everybody should be using email. And oh, by the way, every time I leave a voicemail for a prospect that I'm trying to book a meeting for, I'm going to engage on social, I'm going to engage on email, I'm going to engage through the phone in a sequential cadence. Every time I leave a voicemail, 100% of the time, I also send a text message. And I put the dates and times in that text message, and I will tell you 50% of the time, personally, 50% of the time, the individual responds back via text, and we book the meeting that way. Because nobody wants to listen to a single 60-second voicemail or 30-second voicemail. Nobody wants to hear voicemails anymore. But that's my personal opinion. You might have a different success. We're not here to talk about the phone. We're here to talk about video. Fred, back to you.
Wow. Just wow. Again, such value that you're sharing with us. There's a comment in chat. I don't know if you've picked up on that. Mario, you're making this so simple. That's just a massive credit. That's just a massive credit to the way that you're able to explain how to do this stuff. It is a bit scary, it's a bit complicated, but you've broken it down to actually make it simple. And I agree, you've given us no excuse not to do this and to do this well. Yeah, I had to stand up for the end bit, mainly because that's the way that you round out these, but also I know I wasn't framed right and you were going to pick me up on it.
I love it. I love it.
Could I just ask you, I mean, the great thing about this, that it's been filmed and we can watch on video, slower, because there's so much that's come back. There's one little bit, I mean, there's loads, but there's one piece I'd like to rewind on, because you talked about this is for prospecting, and they said, oh, you can use it for this, 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 and this. And it was every part of the sales process. So can you just give us that list again, a little slower, because it is relevant every step of the way, isn't it?
Yeah, so there are at least 16 use cases that we teach inside of our video sales mastery program, both for teams and for individuals. The individual one, I put that into the link, the Modern Sales Mastery for Individuals. That particular program, the Video Sales Mastery program, will be launched for individuals in the coming months. So in the meantime, don't worry, there's plenty of other content inside the library. But the main one that we primarily see video being leveraged in is prospecting, as a natural thing that we just talked about. But also it could be for answering a question. So oftentimes where a buyer comes in and sends us a question about, something on the proposal, something about our product, something about anything, right? Most reps and most individual sellers, write an answer back. Well, listen, with all these tools that I just mentioned, Hippo, BombBomb, Loom, you just click on that little icon in your Chrome browser, Chrome extension, and you record a simple 30-second video. Answer the question, send them a video back. It takes you an extra 3 minutes, but the impact to the end user or to the end person is that 3 minutes that you took is 60 seconds for them that they're spending now appealing to two different senses. So it could be answering a question. It could be for a proposal review, which sometimes our proposal reviews will be up to 10 minutes long, especially when we know that someone's going to take our proposal and they're going to be forwarding it to someone else. And what's beautiful about the use of video is, unlike email, you can't lock things down. But with video, you actually tell your buyer in those first opening sentences that introduces the video, hey, this is requires a password on it. So this is a legitimate request, or not password, excuse me, your email address. So this is a legitimate request. Just fill that in for tracking purposes. And I can't tell you how many times we've been able to figure out who all the buyers are in the organization, because one video is sent to 8 people. And now we figure out who are all our buyers, and the immediately thing that we do is connect with them on LinkedIn, engage with them through social, and begin building that relationship. And when sales leaders and VPs of marketing and marketing leaders, especially if you're selling to that line of business, when they see this, it's pretty powerful for us in terms of eating our own dog food. So Those are some ideas. Another idea would be some sales reps have started to get pretty tech savvy, and they're actually sending out on a monthly basis some sort of newsletter or update, right? A compilation of different types of blog articles that they want to send to their prospects. And then there's also the customer testimonials, the video referrals, requests for help, guidance, especially as a salesperson. Sometimes when you need to know a piece of information that is kind of awkward to ask, or you feel uncomfortable, or you know that the buyer will feel potentially uncomfortable, that's a great way. Hey, Fred, I'm reaching out because, a couple things I need to understand. First off, I don't understand. What's the budget? What's your budget that you have? If you could help me with that, that will help me be able to figure out what the proposal and pricing should look like and all the different pieces of the pie. Now, with a sincere recording just like that, where you're using that, as opposed to the email, what's your budget? I'm like, you get so many, what's the saying? You attract more bees with honey than you do with vinegar. Well, there you go. There's your honey. So hopefully that gives you a perspective. There are 16 different use cases that we teach, but that's just a few of them that I rattled off.
That's superb. So I think what people need to do is they need to connect with you on LinkedIn. They need to send you a video to do that.
No, not at all. Just send a personalized connection request.
If they mention it on this, because what you just showed, they need to be clicking on that video, getting onto that page and clicking every single one of those things that were down below.
Don't worry, I will send you a personalized I will send you a video as a result of connecting no matter what. You saw that video, but it'll give you some guidelines to be able to look at what to do. Fred, there was a question that I didn't see until just now. What about copyright? And here's the thing, you don't have to worry about copyright. Here's why. You're not publishing these videos on the open market, right? You're not monetizing these videos. That's where copyright gets into copyright infringement. You're taking these videos and you're adding them as a creative element to a discussion that you're having on a one-on-one basis or one to few. So unless you're planning on publishing your videos to YouTube, which are prospecting videos that will be unique and specific and break other rules like confidentiality, you don't have to worry about copyright. So just produce and create, and away you go. You can utilize their videos inside of your virtual backgrounds as an example. Just make sure you don't put it onto YouTube or publish it on social media. And I think there will be other problems if you try doing those things as well.
Oh, brilliant. Mario, thank you so much. I'd say I do appreciate, sorry, I got the timings wrong and you're up early, but we got full energy, Mario. So look, we win from that. Really do appreciate it, sir.
Well, excited to see what you guys do. So please feel free to connect with me out on LinkedIn. I'm the only Mario Martinez Jr. that I know of out there, but pretty easy to be able to find me and send a personalized connection request. And I did drop that link into the chat, and that was our Modern Sales Mastery for individuals. If you're an individual seller, then it's a great, phenomenal program. It's all self-paced. If you are a sales team, certainly reach out to me and we can talk to you about how we do virtual selling as well. And of course, you've got Fred's program as well, and a huge opportunity there to be able to learn in terms of sales acumen. We really squarely focus in on the prospecting side, which is why we're very complimentary to what Fred does and some of the other things as well. So I just threw that into the chat, team. I hope you enjoyed this session. Before I go, I always ask, what did you think? Throw it into the chat. Did I suck? You can send it to me privately if you said, hey, not worth it, not interested, or great, bad, good. Tell me what you thought. You can put it privately to me in the chat, or you can send it out to everyone. Just go ahead and go directly below. Let me know if I'm going to be invited back to Fred's collaboration summit in next year. Bernard, thank you so much. A revelation. Kyra, I think I hope I pronounced that right. Thank you so much. Appreciate that. Fred, is there anything else that you want me to talk about, my friend?
Oh, I thought we'd have you going non-stop, but look, you've given those links, you've given plenty of access to that. Thank you so much for that. We need a little break. I need to, after every one of these sessions, I need to just sit down and compose myself and try and think, whoa, there's so much thing. So what we're going to do, we're going to take 5 minutes or a one song break. Lorna is telling me a one song break. But again, thank you so much, Mario. Do appreciate it, mate.
Great to see you guys. I hope you enjoy the rest of your day. And if I'm not mistaken, you're with my friend, Anita Nielsen. Is that right?
Correct.
Oh, the fire's coming. Go ahead, Anita, take it away. Enjoy the next session. You do not want to change that channel. So make sure you stay for Anita. I'll talk to you guys soon.
Cheers, Mario. Thank you.